Ebbets Field was one of the several jewel box ballparks built in the early 1900s. The home of the Brooklyn Dodgers, it would serve the New York City area for over 50 years until the untimely demise of baseball in Brooklyn in the 1950s. This is the rise and fall of Ebbets Field. The jewel box ballparks of the early 1900s would usher in a new era of stadium construction across baseball. These new style ballparks would pop up in multiple cities across the country, and in 1913 Brooklyn would receive one in the form of Ebbets Field. Opening 1 year after Fenway Park and Tiger Stadium and a year before Wrigley, Ebbets Field would be part of one of the peak stadium building booms of MLB. Replacing Washington Park as the home of the Dodgers, this new stadium would offer a larger capacity at 23,000 and would be a steel and concrete structure as opposed to its wooden predecessor. With its brick facade and marble rotunda, it would display a new era of elegance in ballpark construction. Just 4 years into the stadium's life, the Dodgers would host the World Series. This would be the first of many, as the stadium would end up hosting 9 of them. However, the Dodgers would come up short in all but one of them, winning only one during their time at Ebbets Field in 1955. Over time, as attendance at the stadium would increase, it would eventually be expanded to accommodate up to 32,000. Ebbets Field's best days would come in its later years, with the Dodgers winning the National League pennant in 6 out of its final 11 seasons as a venue, with players such as Jackie Robinson helping to lead the team to one of its greatest eras in history. Though the Dodgers were experiencing enormous amounts of success, Ebbets Field was aging and the neighborhood was changing. In the time since Ebbets was built, ballpark construction had changed a lot. Ballparks were no longer being put in simple neighborhoods, as the nation had become more car-centric than ever before, and large amounts of parking were seen as a necessity. Capacities and demand for seating had also risen as well, and Ebbets really couldn't be expanded again. In the early 50s, then-owner Walter O'Malley would attempt what was probably one of the boldest stadium projects of all time at that point, in what would have been the first dome baseball stadium ever. First, a stadium paid for himself was planned. Then, a publicly funded one was attempted, and eventually the team started playing a few games a season in New Jersey to try to force a deal. One would not happen, however, and with the prospect of the ever-growing market of Los Angeles being able to host a team, O'Malley would pick up the team's bags and move to Los Angeles. This occurring at the same time that the New York Giants would move to California as well. The Dodgers would play at the LA Coliseum for multiple seasons in a less than ideal setup, winning the World Series in only their second season in LA, and Dodger Stadium would open in 1962 to much higher capacity and fanfare. Ebbets Field would end up being torn down in 1960, and today rests apartments on the site. When Citi Field, home of the Mets, was built, elements of Ebbets Field's design, such as the arched brick facade and the rotunda, were incorporated as a tribute to Ebbets Field. From Jackie Robinson being the first African-American player in the modern era in MLB, to the Dodgers' multiple World Series appearances, Ebbets Field played an important part in the history of the team and the league. Thank you for watching.